taking you out tonight. Don't you wanna go with me? Paint the town and ride with me. Hot shot, you're so fly. Rocking up designer jeans and that swag when you talk to me. Ready or not, here I come. Never late when the night is young.
Hello. Welcome to season 2 of In Her Purpose Show, a platform where we feature female game changers who have paved the way on succeeding their goals and continue to inspire at the same time. I'm your host, Mafe Yunon Velasco, and this show is super close to my heart because I am able to learn and grow with two amazing, beautiful women who are the founders and also authors of In Her Purpose book and company. So honored to always introduce these ladies to you. First, let's start off with Jen Redondo Marquez, who is a game changer herself, working in the tech world and serving as a mentor for Collective Hustle and FASTA, Filipino Americans in Silicon Valley Tech. And of course, Rose Buado, mother of two, businesswoman, mentor to young women entrepreneurs, and an inspirational speaker and manager of the Philharmonic. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi,
Hello.
Love the earrings, Jen. Speaking of earrings, we are going to be honored by a beautiful woman who is the owner and founder of Suyana Designs, a social enterprise committed to empowering female artisans through employment and education. They strive to persevere in indigenous Latin American traditions and handcrafted accessories while providing the knowledge needed for women to break the cycle of poverty. So without further ado, let's welcome the beautiful Susana Rosas. Hi, Susana.
Ladies, how are you?
Hello. How are you?
Wonderful. I love that you're wearing our earrings.
Yes, I had to. I mean, since I'm not going anywhere, I might as well wear them here, right?
Exactly. We can look good at home.
Yes. So we're so grateful to have you. We met Susana at our last In Her Purpose event at Joanna's, and she's just so lovely that we wanted to invite you on our podcast and also to introduce you to our community. So if you could let them know who Susana is and what is Suyana Designs.
Sure. I am so I came from a multicultural background and always really embraced my heritages and my community, my family, and I've always embraced Latin America and really just fell in love with Peru on a missions trip. Fell in love with women there and just the community that was there, and went there on a missions trip that really just changed my life. We were there to change other people's lives, but my life was changed. However, I was newly married. I was getting my master's. I ended up having twin children, boy and a girl, and just life was really busy. But through the pandemic, I realized I needed to stop waiting and embark on this new journey and create Suyana Designs in order to help indigenous women in Latin America create employment opportunities for them, as well as educational opportunities. So our social enterprise not only helps them with their commerce, but it helps them to prepare them for their future through business education classes. So every purchase that you make provides education for these women.
That's awesome. I love it. What inspired you throughout all the things that you've done throughout your career up until now? I mean, you can start with Suyana, but I know there's so many other things that you've done throughout your career. So just anything that you'd want to share.
Sure. I think really just others believing in you. I was a first generation college graduate. My parents both had high school education, and just being able to go to college, be the first one, not only get my undergraduate degree, but also my executive MBA was a huge accomplishment for myself and for my family. And I think through that, I learned that education really does change your entire future. Without education, I would not be able to do what I love. I was able to have such a great career in nonprofit, raising millions of dollars, meeting wonderful people that made commitments in their community. So I was able to learn to be philanthropic and not just be successful for myself. So I had so many people in my life, including my husband, who were so inspirational to me. So many people, and I always say, you're not successful alone. Someone helped you along the way. And in our case, I know because I met y'all, so many people, and it could be a word. Words are so powerful. It could be the fact that someone encouraged you when you least expected. I then became a professor at the University of Houston, teaching sales for social impact, corporate social responsibility, sales and marketing. And it's really funny because now it all comes back. The students that I helped are now the students that helped me and encouraged me to do this business because they know my heart, they know my passion. And so really it's education, and that's what speaks to my heart is these women don't have the same opportunities that we do. And it's only because of where they live. It's only because of where they live. It doesn't mean they're unhappy. It doesn't mean that they're not generating income, providing for their families. It's that they're not reaching their full potential. And that could have been me if someone had not told me, you could go to college. And I started off at a community college, and it was hard. I worked full time. I went to school full time, and I look back now. I have no idea how I did it. I have no idea. But when you want something, nothing will stop you. Nothing. And when you have the encouragement of others, and especially when your students come back and encourage you, it's like you don't want to let them down, but you really don't want to let yourself down either.
Right.
Yeah.
Where did you get your college degree at, and your undergrad and your MBA?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, and I'm so thankful for the University of Houston because I wouldn't have otherwise been able to go. You know, everyone was wearing their sweatshirts and where they were going, and honestly, I never even heard of some of these universities. And you know, my goal was to do what I saw in my realm, in my community, and that's what I knew at that moment. And when people were wearing their sweatshirts and you know, going to these different colleges, I remember my boyfriend at the time told me, well, college isn't for everyone. I was like, excuse me? And so at that moment I registered and I said, you know, I'm going to community college. And then eventually, thank God, we had the University of Houston in our backyard. Well, I ended up marrying that man, and and he told me that because he knew it would put the fire in my belly that I needed. And it was so true because I can do anything. And I say that to my children all the time. We truly can do anything. And I'm so grateful that I was able to go to the University of Houston and get both my undergraduate, my graduate degree, and teach there. And really, it was the biggest blessing in my backyard to be able to do that. And I can also attest to that. Many of our students there are first-gen college students, and it's a hard road. It's difficult. You sacrifice. You know, your parents want you to work. They want you to provide in their home, and that doesn't stop. That doesn't stop just because you're going to college. They don't understand that you're having to educate your parents too at the same time, and it's a challenge. But there's so many students that did it, including myself, and really you're impacting not yet just yourself, but your family and the future of your children if you have children. And that's huge, that I can tell my daughter that I got my work ethic from my mom, and I hope and pray my daughter gets her work ethic from me as well.
Yeah, Rose and I are both first gen college grads as well in our families. Yeah. So we know like the struggle of asking our parents, you know, they had no idea what an SAT was, or why do you have to pay to apply to college? Right.
You have to pay for books. That was very foreign for my mom. And, you know, we grew up very modest home. And I remember my mom one year said she wanted to buy me a textbook. It was my senior year. and we went to the bookstore, and it was like $150 at the time. And she was like, "Oh, I thought it was like $30." I mean, it was really hard. I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, I'll take care of it." And you hustle. You learn how to hustle. You learn how to buy used books. You make friends with people. You figure it out. And through those experiences, it's what really makes you smarter and stronger.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's funny because you're talking about the textbooks costing like 150, right? I remember that. I remember when
Yeah.
I went to college, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta buy some books. Walk into the bookstore and it's like $200. I'm like, oh my God. And even $75 was
Oh,
a lot.
75. Yes, yes. But you learned, you figured out who was at that 10:30 class and how you could split the
Yeah.
cost of a book, and
Mhm.
you figured it out. I don't know if they even do that right now anymore, if they sell the books, I don't know anymore, but if they do, you figure it out.
Yeah.
I know. Me and my roommates were so ghetto. We're like, all right, let's all sign up for the same class so we can share.
Share.
We all live in the same house. We all live in the same house. So I buy this book, you buy that book, you buy that
Right.
book.
Yeah.
And we
And
would
rotate.
swap.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff is expensive. So you're right. We had to get super creative because it is a lot of money. So as far as your career, what are some challenges you had to embark upon in your career and as an entrepreneur?
I think as an entrepreneur, I think the biggest challenge that I had was to start. I have always been very successful, and I am tooting my own horn, and I think that that's important for women to know. No
Yeah.
one's losing sleep over you at night. That was the biggest lesson I learned when I was 25. But I always wanted to do everything 150%, and I work really, really well in a team. I know how to operate in a company, in a large organization. I can run teams and departments, and I thrive on working with people. As an entrepreneur, it's very lonely. It's you doing the marketing, it's you doing the finances, it's you doing the inventory, it's you doing and the biggest lesson I learned was to let go of my career, and it's hard. I somewhat let go of it as a mother when I had my twins. It was challenging. My twins were premature. I know that they say that's common, but as someone that had not gone through it, it was very difficult. It was really challenging, and that felt really lonely at times as well. And so you kind of had to sacrifice your career as well when you're a mom, because the love that you have for your children, you're not the same, and you shouldn't be the same. So I somewhat learned that through there, but letting go of your career, something that you work so hard for, something that you strive to be successful at, and really humble yourself and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to put myself out there. It is not perfect the way that I want it to be, and realize it's never going to be perfect. But then there's also that excitement of being able to do something that you've never done before, right? Because if I look back at my career, I didn't do that before. But previously, I'd raised millions of dollars for nonprofit organizations. Well, I had to start with a maybe $200 gift, but I forgot about that because I was doing well and able to do it. And you don't want to let go of that because you're accustomed to your career. It's
Mhm.
easier to stay in your career even if you're unhappy. And
Hmm.
letting go was really, really difficult. And now that I have, it's so freeing. It's freeing. You're like, finally, I can focus on what I really want to do. Why didn't I do this before? Why? And you can't focus on that. But it's
Mhm.
really, now I look back and I say, I wasn't able to start before because I had to go through this process. I had to go through these experiences that now enable me to be a stronger entrepreneur.
Yes, yes. I always say that too because so I came from a corporate background,
Mhm.
and then when I became an entrepreneur, it was like everything that I learned in marketing and sales and everything I learned in corporate, how to work with people, I'm able to apply it all to the stuff that we're working on now. So
Yes,
it is definitely a learning experience and a blessing to have gone through all of that and now
absolutely.
be able to use it for yourself. So yeah.
Absolutely.
What did I freeze? am I here? Oh yeah, I'm here. Yeah, so I think that's just such a great thing. And I have this question. I've been dying to ask you this. Your name of your business is so unique. How did you come up with the name?
So when I went on this missions trip, it was 2008, and a lot of the people had gravitated towards helping women and the children. And what I saw, I don't know, my heart has always been towards females. It's always been through mothers, even when I wasn't a mother, because my mom always worked so hard. I mean, my dad was great, but I know Father's Day is coming up, but fathers are great, but they're not moms. And
Yeah.
yeah, and when we were little, we cried for our mom. There's a reason for that. And so I always respected and admired my mom. She was such a hard worker, worked several jobs. Even when my father got laid off, I still remember her working late at night at a Jack in the Box. And my dad would take us to go see her in the drive-through. We would drive around several times just to say hi to her because we didn't get to see her. And I always remember that. I always remember her wearing the same clothes and not buying things for herself. And I thought that was so odd. Here we were, it was like the 90s, we were wearing like jabots and like cross colors, and my mom was wearing like JCPenney, $10 yard sale stuff. And I never understood it. But the sacrifice of a mom has always been so special to me. So when I saw these women doing very similar things that we do, getting up early, making their lunches, sending their kids to school or to their caregivers, going in the fields with their husband, working the farms or the fields or wherever they're at, going home, making dinner, taking care of the kids, and then late at night, which many of us do as mothers, working. We're up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, taking care of what we need to take care of. They were doing the same thing, but the difference was they didn't value what they were doing, because here we have a network where we're able to encourage one another and people value your work. If a tourist doesn't buy the work, then the husband or the female sees it as nothing. And so it was wasted time. So when I was there, I was able to see these women, talk to them through a translator, because they do speak their different native languages. And through that, I saw hopelessness. Honestly, I just saw them not value their work, but more so they didn't value themselves. And it was heartbreaking, because if you don't believe in yourself, what's left? What is your purpose? What are you meant to do? And so I started researching various languages in South America, and one of the most oldest indigenous language in Latin America is Quechua. And Quechua was a very limited language in words, and many of their words have dual meaning. And Suyana has a dual meaning, which means faith and hope. Right. And so that's really important for them to have faith in themselves and hope as well, that their future will be something incredible. And we do all we can to instill that faith and hope in them, because if you change a woman not only changes her family, but she changes her community.
I love that. I'm so glad that I asked that question, because I was wondering, like, how did you get the name? First I was thinking, oh, maybe it's like your daughter's name, or
yeah, everyone's like, you really like your name, you just put a Y, because my name is Susana and Suyana. It sounds similar. And no, it's coincidental that it's similar to my name, but it's native Quechua, and it just really signifies what we do through empowering them, employment, and education. Those are really our 3 main pillars.
That is beautiful. I love it. And when you're not working, and you're not, working as mom of the household and helping empowering other women, what do you do to unplug yourself?
I do a lot of reading. I love to read. My twins just turned 5. So now I'm able to do a little bit more. They start in the fall. I love to read. It helps me to escape and learn new things, especially during quarantine. I was able to take several classes and, join book clubs, virtual book clubs with friends. And it was so nice. And then my other escape that I am starting, I reside in Minnesota now. I'm from Texas, but I live in Minnesota. And the weather's beautiful here during the summer. No one talks about that. They just talk about the snow. I'm able to run now, go out. I'm able to go outside now, more importantly.
Yes.
Very important. And I'm able to now pick up running, which has always been a passion. Previously, I was able to run several half marathons before children, and I was able to run a couple after my twins. So I really want to get back to that.
Wow. That's great, because every time we meet women who are, entrepreneurs and right now it's like all the hustle, we have to make sure we are always working or like getting something done and being productive. But it's very important that we talk about, self-care and doing something that makes us, right? Like for you, it's running and reading a book and reading books. Do you have any particular books that you want to recommend to us?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't read anything super fun. It's more like research right now. It's like the coddling of American culture. It talks about college students, and I love education. So I'm not the fun escape. Like some of these book clubs are very interesting, steamy stories. No.
That's the same. I'm not like that either.
I love, it's funny because before you can just like listen to random music and things like that. And now I find myself listening to podcasts and trying to, as much information as I possibly can. I don't know if it's because I wouldn't say it's a quarantine. I think it's just like I always, and I tell this to my students, you are your competition. You can never be anyone else. God truly made you for a reason and a purpose. And I'm so grateful that my sister and I didn't grow up in the culture of social media. I think we did have like MySpace or something, but I don't even think we were allowed. And so, the culture now is to be this or to be that, but really, you're made perfectly for a purpose. And the more that you embrace who you are and what you're meant to do, it's huge. And so be your own competition. Don't try to be someone else, because you're never going to be that person. And it's funny because people are actually looking at you and trying to be like you, when you think that, you can be something else, and it's not true. People are looking up to you because if you're authentic, they're going to see they're going to see right through you if you're not authentic enough. So
yeah, very true. Very true. So I know we talked about music a little bit, and I know we listen to podcasts, and I'm sure I do that all the time. But if there was one song that you can have, that your one theme song that you could have when you walk into a room, what song would that be?
Okay. That's really hard because I do love music, just because I listen to podcasts. Okay. So it's kind of funny because when I walk into a room, I don't know, I love people, and so you're gonna laugh, but I love the song from J-Lo, "Let's Get Loud." I want to walk in, let's get loud, let's have fun, let's enjoy life, especially, I tell everybody, we've been locked up, it's like we've been locked up, we need to get out. And I love that song because let's get loud, let's have fun, let's be ourselves and enjoy life. And that's kind of, I think that would be my theme song.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, I love it. And I love J-Lo too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And so how long ago was it when you decided to move into entrepreneurship?
So I had been thinking about this since 2008. And then when in 2011, I got my MBA, and then we moved here, we moved to Minnesota in 2019. So when we moved here, it was really like right before we moved here, I had a launch party, and life stopped there too. We moved, my kids were here, I had no family, and I had to stop. It was so many times that I had to stop. We had started off as a nonprofit first, and our nonprofit where we were helping people who were displaced from various areas of Peru because of war, and didn't have the materials to make their products. And so we provided kits for them and helped them in that way to have materials so they could have a micro entrepreneurship or micro business. And then we developed into a collective because we had so many women that were wanting to do this. And then I finally launch, and then we have to move. And it was challenging. I never moved my entire life, and you know, with my children. So I wanted to spend time with my family in Texas and enjoy that. And I remember seeing Joanna, a friend of ours at Alba. And so, you know, she asked me, we had just moved and we were at an event in LA, and, you know, everyone was excited about my husband's opportunity, which is very exciting. And she asked me, how are you? And you do the typical, like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm great. And she pulled me aside. She goes, no. How are you? And I told her I was frustrated. I just launched this business. You know, I put my name out there. All my friends were there. It was about 150 people. And I was sad, to be honest. I was so sad. And she told me as a mother, she told me as a friend, she told me as an entrepreneur. And I'll never forget, she was like, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And I was looking at her like, it's not going to happen. Because I was frustrated. And she said, you know, even in a couple of years, if it happens in a couple of years, you guys get settled, it's okay. It doesn't matter when it happens. It's going to happen. And you know, I was like, okay, thank you. And she's like, call me when it happens. I was like, okay. She's so, you know, Joanna, she was very stern and with love. And literally, I get emotional thinking about it. 2 years later, like almost to the day, here we are. I was like, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm doing this. I'm not going to have another 2020. Here we are in 2021. We're doing this. And she's one of the first people that I called. And, you know, her first question was, how can I support? And that's huge as females to hear that from other females, because people often say, oh, women don't help women. It's not true. There's so many fabulous, amazing, inspirational women out there. And if you don't give back to your community, if you don't help someone else after so many people helped you, you don't deserve to be successful. I mean, there's not a successful person out there that doesn't help others. There's just not. It doesn't exist.
I agree. So do you believe now that you're living in your purpose?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's hard. It's hard. It's a balance, you know, kids and family and other things that, you know, like you were saying earlier, it's nice to escape the book and be Susana, but you're not just Susana, your mom, your wife, your friend, your sister, your daughter. And it's challenging, but it's so exciting because, you know, I'm doing something that's helping other people. That's all I've ever aspired to do, is just help others.
Yeah, I love that so much. What are three advices or tips do you give to other women who want to follow in your footsteps, or who want to become an entrepreneur but don't know where to start?
So first, I would always say, embrace yourself, embrace who you are, who God made you. Just embrace yourself. To be authentic. I know that kind of coincides, but it is different. You definitely need to be authentic. Stop trying to be something else. Always be real, be yourself. People will see through that. And third, just start. It took a long time to learn that for me. Just start, just do it. Even if it takes you, like it did for me, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to start. It's okay. No one's judging you but yourself. No one. Everyone is really encouraging you and just waiting for you to do it because they believe in you.
I agree.
Definitely. We all do. And that's the reason why I love In Her Purpose. You know, Jen and Rose here are also those inspiring women that create that domino effect, and just meeting all the beautiful guests, including yourself, Susana. You really shared so many gems. I loved how you shared that faith and hope is the meaning of your company. Like you really thought about it in deeply for yourself. I mean, that exudes just how you're sharing your passion, and then just sharing also you need support. We can't do everything on our own. It takes a village,
It does.
right? And being a mom is and having the business at the same time, it's like your business is your third child, or
Yes.
another kid in your family, right?
Absolutely.
So speaking of that, please share with everyone how we can find you. I know we have it, guys. It's been on the ticker and the banner. So yes, Susana, where else can we find you?
So our website is suyanadesigns.com with an S. And you can also find us on Instagram at Suyana Designs, as well as Facebook at Suyana Designs.
Amazing. You know where I'm going after this.
Yes.
But ladies, would you like to have any parting words with Susana before we say see you later to her?
Yes. So we are so excited that you have started your business and you are making this happen. You have beautiful earrings, you have beautiful products. We saw them firsthand.
Yes.
And we just want to do whatever we can to support. So if you ever need anything, do not feel shy to contact us, to let us know. We will do everything we possibly can, even if it's just like a post or a reshare on social media, or if you need us to like blast out whatever it is that you are doing, if you have a promo, I don't care, whatever it is.
Anything.
You come to us. Yeah, you come to us and let us know how we can help, because we do want to be able to support you. Our main purpose with our company and who we are is to be able to help other women strive and live in their purpose, and to be able to do that by also helping others, and also by helping you guys have resources. So whatever it is that you need, please, we are here. We're only a phone call away.
Yes.
If you ever need anything, we are here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm sure I will definitely call you, and same to you as well. If there's anything that I can do, I know several women and have I consider a pretty large network, but I'm really thankful for the opportunity to have met you at the event, meet you all here virtually as well, and appreciate the support. And it means more than I think and just to have authentic women. I really felt like that event was a non-judgment zone. I mean, everyone at that event was so supportive, so inspirational, so positive. And it's nice to have events like that you feel so comfortable as if you had known these people for years. So I commend you for your hard work in doing that and creating such a beautiful network.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you for
amazing.
For everything, for showing up and flying all the way from Minnesota to LA.
That is amazing. So grateful.
Well,
so grateful.
it was a great event, and the book and everything, just hearing other stories is really inspirational to hear that. And I think that that's really what helped us in the pandemic too, is to hear that other people were going through similar challenges, and we don't talk about it enough. We see women and we see successful people, and we know where they're at now, but we don't know their journey. We don't know their story. Just assume a lot of times, and people assume a lot of things about everyone. It's natural, but if we talk about it and we put it out there, we're actually able to inspire so many other people who maybe don't have those encouraging words at home or where they live. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm so grateful you wore your earrings as well, Jen.
I love them. I have nowhere to go
so
right
gorgeous.
now, but I'm just going to wear them everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. So thank you again, Susana, for joining us. I'm sure there's going to be many more collaborations with you and in her purpose community. For now, please, guys, follow Susana and her beautiful brand. And, you know, her mission and vision is definitely what we need more in the world. So if ever you do have advice or sorry, questions for her, I'm sure Susana will be more than happy to answer them for you. So don't forget to follow all her social media accounts and check out her website. So see you later, Susana.
Thank you, ladies.
Another great episode. Jen and Rose, I love her. She is amazing.
I know, right?
You know, it's all about timing. As she shared her story and how Joanna was her strong pillar through it all. It is all about timing. For me, I'm so grateful for even building, you know, collaborations with you both. So speaking of that, I know you guys have more amazing events upcoming. So please invite everybody to what's coming up for In Her Purpose.
Yeah, it is a busy, busy summer. I can't believe it's already June, and July is our 1-year anniversary from when we launched the book. So we really want to celebrate in a really big way. So July 17th, we are having our 1-year anniversary. So we're throwing an event with Alba Legacy. It's called Rise and Thrive. It's going to be at Shannon Westbrook's venue in downtown LA at SRW Studios. It's a co-ed event, so I know a lot of guys were feeling a little left out and jealous that they weren't able to attend our May event. So it's co-ed. What else do we want to tell them, Rose? Oh, it's a fashion show.
Yes. And not only that, but one of our really main purpose in life, not only to help empower women, but to also help and be charitable, right? So we want to be able to raise and support other people who actually really, really need our support. So we are teaming up with also Big Brothers Big Sisters in Greater LA. We are throwing this charity event where Joe, our fashion designer, fashionista, or how do you say it? Fashionista, is going to mentor 8 littles, call them littles. We don't know how old they are yet, but but we are so excited that she is going to be able to mentor them on fashion. She's going to build or create the kids and her are going to create beautiful designs for their or an outfit, and then they get to walk down the catwalk with it and just strut their vision and strut their you know, what they really wanted, or like, you know, we're just going to try to empower them and make them know that they are valuable here and that they can do whatever it is that they want, just like what Susana said.
And they'll be escorted with some special celebrities, some guests. So.
And performers. We're going to have performers. Yes.
And then Cece and Byron Scott, they'll be our guest speakers. Annette is going to be our moderator. We met Annette at Joanna's. So it's going to be an amazing event, and we hope that you can all join us. Tickets are on sale now. Space is limited. We started selling yesterday, so get yours ASAP before we sell out, because there's a cap. There's not a ton of space. So I'm not saying this just to say it. I'm really serious when I say get your tickets now.
Yeah, come through, please. We'd love to see you. And the world is going to open up soon, and we want to be there. We want to be the first to give you a big hug.
Yes. So there you have it, guys. Go, and check it out on the website of In Her Purpose. Make sure you grab your tickets because, like the lady said, it is going to be an exciting event with all these amazing individuals that will be motivating you, inspiring you, and let's just support each other. It is a time to celebrate. It is a time to celebrate life. So please do support this event and also greet these ladies a happy 1-year anniversary. What a milestone.
Yes.
So if you haven't yet, guys, please grab your copy of In Her Purpose book, because it is truly a book that you can keep and pass it on to your grandchildren or nieces and nephews and the young leaders of today really need to hear these stories. So with that, ladies, I'll see you again in our next episode. Thank you, Kumu USA, for hosting us on Kumu. Thank you for all the people who are tuned in on Facebook. And of course, the people who are listening in on our Spotify account and re-watching the replay on our YouTube channel. We are all there. So if you want to also watch or listen to the past episodes, I recommend you do that because there are so many inspiring guests that Jen, Rose, and I have had. And we'll see you again. I want to leave it with what Susana said, is that you are your own competition.
Yes. Yes.
That's a good one.
Thank you, Mafe.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Awesome.
guys.
Bye.
Ready or not, here I come. Never late when the night is young.